There comes a moment in every man's life where he looks in the mirror and realizes he's been chasing shadows. Not love, not meaning, not depth, just validation dressed up in perfume and promises. We waste years trying to win her attention, trying to decode her texts, trying to be enough for someone who never even saw our soul. And by the time we wake up, we've built our lives around a fantasy that was never ours to begin with. This lesson isn't about women. It's about the man who gives everything, time, energy, loyalty, to women who were never meant to receive it. And the brutal truths we must face before we waste another year giving our best to someone who doesn't even care if we disappear. Let's begin. 1. If she's not into you, she already decided. Stop trying to convince her. You think your loyalty will change her mind. You think if you just wait long enough, prove yourself hard enough, she'll finally look at you like you matter. She won't, because women don't fall in love with effort. They fall in love with impact. If she liked you, you'd know. You wouldn't be guessing. You wouldn't be justifying crumbs. You wouldn't be stuck in this purgatory of maybes and mixed signals. There's a quote that says, "If you have to convince her to choose you, she already didn't." I remember a guy I knew in college, good guy, smart, loyal, spent 2 years orbiting the same woman, waiting for her to see what a good man he was. She used him for emotional support, took his rides, took his compliments, told him all her problems about other guys. Then she married one of those other guys, and he was left holding the pieces of a love that was never real. Here's the brutal truth. When a woman wants you, she makes it known, not through riddles, not through delay, but through presence. Psychologically, this is called investment bias. The longer you invest in someone, the harder it is to walk away, even when it's clearly not mutual. But a high-value man doesn't beg for love. He walks where he's wanted. He doesn't convince, he observes. And if she's not into him, he doesn't wait to be picked. He picks himself and moves on. 2. You are not her project. You are either her man or her mission. Field. A woman who loves you does not try to fix you. She chooses you as you are, not as a potential. Too many men confuse interest with interference. She gives you books, podcasts, advice, tells you what kind of man you could be. But here's what's really happening. She doesn't love you. She loves the idea of changing you. There's a quote that says, "Some women want a man, others want a moldable boy." I met a man once who dated a woman that believed in him. At first, it sounded noble, but over time, her belief became control. She criticized his career, mocked his hobbies, tried to rewire his personality into her preference. He wasn't growing, he was shrinking. This is the danger of getting involved with a woman who doesn't accept you. You become a student in a classroom you never signed up for, a project on her self-improvement checklist. And here's the psychological danger. Over time, you begin to believe her. You doubt your own instincts. You second-guess your every decision because she framed her control as love. This isn't partnership. It's manipulation wrapped in concern. Real love doesn't feel like reprogramming. It feels like peace. So if you're constantly being improved but never truly appreciated, you're not her partner. You're her pet project. 3. Some women don't want love. They want power over a man who does not. Every woman looking for love is looking to give it. Some are looking for leverage. They want the attention, the validation, the chase. But they don't want connection. They want control. There's a quote I'll never forget. Some women don't want a partner. They want a follower with feelings. I remember a friend who fell for a girl who kept him dangling. She'd ghost him, come back, say just enough to keep him hooked, but never enough to commit. She loved the power, the ability to make him drop everything, to feel desired without giving anything in return. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same trick used in slot machines. A random reward after 1,000 tries keeps people addicted. That's what some women do. They give you just enough to hope, but never enough to feel safe. And the longer you stay, the more your self-worth erodes. You start believing that chasing love is proof of loyalty, when really, it's proof you don't yet know your value. A real woman doesn't play power games. She gives clarity. She gives calm, not confusion. So if you're feeling emotionally drained, constantly chasing, always unsure, you're not in love. You're being used. Walk away.
4. Attention is not affection. Learn to know the difference. Just because she replies to your texts, likes your posts, smiles when you talk, doesn't mean she cares. Men often confuse attention for affection, but a woman can give you attention and still feel nothing for you. Why? Because attention costs her nothing. Affection requires investment. There's a saying, the woman who keeps you close but never commits is feeding off your desire, not returning it. I once watched a man buy gifts for a woman who never even called him by a nickname. She'd take the gifts, flirt a little, then vanish. He told himself it was just slow progress. But progress requires two people walking toward each other. He was the only one moving. Psychologists call this breadcrumbing, when someone leads you on with just enough interaction to keep you around, but never enough to build something real. It's a form of manipulation, and it works best on men who don't yet know how to value their own presence. A man who knows his worth doesn't settle for attention. He requires effort. He watches patterns, not potential. So if you keep giving, and she keeps showing up only when it's convenient, you're not loved, you're tolerated. Stop feeding women your time just because they smiled once. 5. If she doesn't respect you, nothing else will matter. Love without respect is manipulation. She can kiss you, sleep with you, even say she loves you. But if she doesn't respect your boundaries, your time, your purpose, that love will turn toxic. There's a quote that goes, "Respect is love in action. Without it, the rest is performance." I once knew a guy whose girlfriend would flirt openly with other men. She'd insult him in public, undermine him in private. But every time he brought it up, she'd say, "You're being too sensitive. Don't be insecure. You know I love you." That's not love. That's disrespect dressed as affection. Respect is shown in how she speaks to you, how she speaks about you, how she handles your number, how she treats your time. If she doesn't value those things, you are not in a relationship. You are in an emotional hostage situation. Psychologists call this gaslighting. When someone disrespects you, then convinces you it's your fault for reacting. And the longer you stay, the more your self-respect starts to decay. A high-value man never begs to be respected. He sets the tone and leaves when it's violated. You can recover from heartbreak, but years of silent disrespect, that leaves scars you carry into every part of your life. If she doesn't respect you, she doesn't deserve you. Brother, you weren't put here to orbit women who only see you when it's convenient. You weren't made to chase ghosts, beg for breadcrumbs, or convince anyone of your worth. You were built for more than emotional scraps. These truths, they're not meant to make you bitter. They're meant to wake you up. Because too many good men waste their prime chasing women who don't even respect their presence, let alone deserve their heart. So here's the challenge. Stop giving your best to women who treat you like you're optional. Stop shrinking yourself just to be seen. Stop trying to earn love from women who wouldn't bleed a drop for you. And start becoming the man who walks away from confusion, straight into his own power. The moment you stop chasing, you start choosing. If you've ever been loved like this, or if you're still waiting for her, type
"Real love is rare" in the comments. Let's find out how many men out there know the difference. And if this message hits something in you, subscribe, not just for content, but because you're building yourself into a man worth this kind of love.